One of the most common questions I have encountered within the various Nintendo Switch communities I am a part of revolves around game recommendations, with people asking for one based on their personal preferences in gaming. It is with those abundant questions in mind that I decided to make a series of videos to answer them. What's up, Dreamer Tribe? What's up, world? I am Bianca, and for today's video, we'll be tackling game recommendations for those who are enjoying and love playing what could be Nintendo's most popular game today, Animal Crossing. Now, before we actually begin, I would just like to point out that these recommendations are based on my own personal preferences, and the games on this list are games that I actually have played. Most of these games are not exclusive to Nintendo Switch unless, stated otherwise. So those having an itch to play Animal Crossing or similar games within this list can also find this video to their liking. Animal Crossing. You would have to be living under a rock to not know about what is currently Nintendo's most popular IP, which some could say was released at the most opportune of moments, which is, during a global pandemic that has everyone quarantined and locked inside their homes. I believe, for the most part, that is what got, people to clock in massive hours of gameplay since its release. Well, that and how this game could whisk you off to an island to forget your cares and worries in the real world for a little bit and let you instead manage an island into something you can call your own. From its cute, adorable, and lovely anthropomorphic characters with varying personalities, to its casual and addicting gameplay that allows you to customize your own island with various designs and aesthetics, to having to catch fish and bugs, digging for fossils to fill up a museum, to swimming and diving around the vast waters surrounding your island and selling forage items for money in order to pay debt, there really is much to do in this game and so much fun to be had, provided that it is within the realm of your personal preference. So, if you enjoyed Animal Crossing but want to venture off into another game, or if you don't own a Nintendo Switch but would like to experience the escapism this title provides, here are some games I would personally recommend you to check out that offers the same kind of casual gaming and alternate simulated life. Stardew Valley is perhaps one of the most celebrated and highly decorated indie games of all time. Developed by the amazing Eric Concerned Ape Barone, who programmed the entire game except the multiplayer aspect of it, he is also the man behind all the art, sound, effects, and music of the game. In Stardew Valley, you are a jaded office worker who has grown tired of the office life and decided, after many years, to finally take up your grandfather's offer to move and take over his farm. you get complete control on how your character looks. Granted, Stardew Valley has that old-school pixel art graphics, but such outdated look adds to the game's overall charm and harkens back to the glorious days when the title Harvest Moon actually provided an interesting and engaging game. Speaking of Harvest Moon, Stardew Valley was heavily inspired by it, and it shows as it has everything one loved about the older pre-split Harvest Moon games while also offering quite a lot of new features and gameplay mechanics. Apart from farming and livestock, you can also visit the monster-infested mines to fight monsters and, well, mine ores, minerals, and gems, or find artifacts that you can donate to Stardew Valley's own version of a museum. There's also the Oasis, another area in Stardew Valley you can visit once you have unlocked the necessary requirements to do so. Fishing is also something that you can do to pass time and earn money. Festivals are also a thing, as these are available in all 4 in-game months, and each festival has something going for it. From the seasonal harvest festivals to moon jellyfish viewing, cooking festivals, and every others in between. You can also upgrade and expand your house, each expansion giving you more room to put furniture in and also providing you with a specific themed room. Crafting and cooking are also activities very much available in Stardew Valley, with crafting recipes learned via leveling up and cooking recipes learned from the weekly cooking show you can watch via the TV. You can choose what will happen to Stardew Valley as well, as the game lets you choose who to support. Jaja Corp, who wants to modernize the valley, or the valley itself via fixing the decrepit community center and helping the strange, yet cute, creatures you can see there called Junimo. There are dozens of characters living within Stardew Valley that you can interact with, and each of them have their own character arcs you can trigger via leveling up your relationship and your affection with them. Romance and marriage is also a thing in this game, with the player being able to marry any of the bachelors or bachelorettes that they want regardless of what gender you choose for your own character. You can also grow a family, with the game allowing you to have 2 children of your own, a daughter and a son. Unfortunately, the children don't grow beyond the toddler stage. Perhaps in future updates, this could be addressed? Who knows? Speaking of updates, support and updates for this title is very much alive and going strong, with a brand new update slated to be released real soon. It's one of those games that never really gets old, since there are tons of stuff to do, secrets to uncover, and friendships to blossom. Stardew Valley is available on all platforms, iOS and Android included. Rune Factory 4 Special is an updated version of Rune Factory 4 for the 3DS, and is part of the series of games that play very much similar to how Stardew Valley does, even though the Rune Factory series came before it. In Rune Factory 4, you play as an amnesiac who gets mistaken as a member of the royal family and gets embroiled in saving Salphia, the land where the game occurs. Having the power of an Earthmate, your character, which can either be a girl or a boy, have the ability to nurture the land and tame monsters, a power that the native dragon Ventuswil seeks your help for to revitalize the land and get to the bottom of the strange things occurring in Salphia. Developed by Neverland Co. and published by Marvelous AQL, Rune Factory 4 Special lets players not only farm but fight and tame monsters, turning them into livestock, dungeon-crawling partners, or helpers in your own farm. You also get to dive into dungeons as you try to uncover the mysteries surrounding Salphia and help Ventuswil. Each dungeon is different and provides adequate challenges and boss fights. There are also seasonal festivals in the 4 seasons of the game, with each season or month having 30 days. Players are also given the ability to craft weapons, armors, accessories, and even their own medicine, as well as cook food that they could eat or gift to other villagers to increase their stats temporarily. Rune Factory 4 also provides you with requests that you can, sometimes you must, complete in exchange for prince or princess points you can use to unlock various other features such as festivals, increased storage space, and licenses for using the facilities around Selphia.
What do I do?
Each action you take, from sleeping, walking, using your tools and weapons, even getting beat up by monsters, earns you experience for those things, and with each level up increases your stats. The more you get hit by monsters, for example, the higher your vitality will be when it levels up. Though Rune Factory 4 doesn't have a lot by way of villagers, each of the villagers it has are interesting in their own right and have their own story to tell as well. By growing your relationship with them, you get to learn new things about them. You can also bring them with you to dungeons to fight, or ask them to simply walk around with you. Marriage is also a thing in this title, as is having children. Although, unlike Stardew Valley, you can't have more than one, a son or a daughter. Like with all other villagers though, you can take them out exploring and they'll help you with tending the fields and livestock if you ask them to. They don't grow up beyond being children though, which is pretty much a bummer, as the older Rune Factory 2 game actually allows children to grow up and have 3 generations of the protagonist's family. In Rune Factory 4 Special, there are also special scenarios in the form of voiced, visual novel-like cutscenes that you can watch but need to pay for, unless you brought the archival edition where the DLC is free. Though the game's story has an ending, there is no real ending to the game itself, as you can keep playing even after the credits have rolled and the story has been exhausted. Rune Factory 4 Special is available only on the Nintendo Switch, both as a physical release and a digital one, with the physical release having an archival edition that includes a game soundtrack, art book, and a DLC. Initially released in 2018 for the PC through Steam, My Time at Porsche is a game developed by the Chinese studio Pathea Games and published by Team 17. In My Time at Porsche, you, the player, heads off to live in Porsche and run the workshop your father has left you with. Living in a house that's close to decrepit and needing quite a lot of wood to fix, you work on becoming the best builder Porsche can offer. Think of it as Harvest Moon, but instead of farming, you're building things and doing commissions. There's not much farming involved in this game, though you can own planters and plant seeds in them to grow the materials that are needed to craft some things. The main focus of the game is building, upgrading, and crafting items as per the requests of the denizens of Porsche. The more commissions and requests you complete, the higher your workshop's rating grows and the more the villagers learn to like you. There is not much by way of festivals in the game, as those are currently few and far between, although updates are still frequent for this title, at least for the Steam version. There are weekly evaluations you can take part in, as well as character-centric scenarios that expand on the game's story, as well as the characters you encounter. Customization-wise, you can't really change how your character looks after creating them at the beginning of the game. You can change their hairstyle though, and there are tons of options to choose from when creating your initial character. Dungeon diving is also a must in this game, as some ingredients and materials for crafting and cooking, as well as upgrading your tools, can only be found through them. Making money in this game, however, can be quite a chore, and it is directly tied to how well you do commissions and requests, or if you actually do them. Each commission and request has a time limit, so you have to be able to manage your time well, even from the start. You also have a rival builder who will try to get more commissions than you and whom you must also beat in terms of workshop ranking. Compared to Ruin Factory 4 Special though, My Time at Porsche offers more characters. Thankfully, they have updated the Switch version to add voiceovers as well, as during its initial release, those were non-existent. Marriage and having children is also a feature available in My Time at Porsche. You can choose who you want to marry and whether you want to get pregnant or adopt a baby. Same-sex marriage is also a feature in the game. Unfortunately, children do not grow up past being a baby, and there's not much development in them to the point that your spouse may, at times, not even acknowledge them. This game is not as casual and relaxed as most games in the list, as it provides time limits on commissions and missions in general. It still fits right in with this list of RPG simulation games. My Time at Porsche is available for Steam, PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and the Nintendo Switch. Though, if I'm being honest, I would recommend this be played from Steam instead, since updates are slow for console versions and there are a lot more things added in the Steam version than the others that puts them, lacking and lagging behind. Perhaps you are growing tired of the whole crafting and farming aspect of the games listed above and wanted to try something different? Well, Little Dragon's Cafe lets you raise a dragon and work on a cafe of your own. In Little Dragon's Cafe, you are the son or daughter of a cafe owner. Your mom, who owns the cafe, falls sick, and not long after, you find yourself in the possession of a dragon egg, which quickly hatches into a baby dragon. It is your job to keep the cafe running while taking care of the dragon in order to save your mother, whose sickness is tied with the said dragon. Though there is not much by way of customizing your character in the game, you do have an option to choose between playing as a boy or as a girl at the start. You can also customize how your dragon behaves and how it looks like depending on how you treat it and what food you feed it. You cook food using the ingredients found all around the cafe and learn new recipes through exploring the world around you. You can likewise fish and be like Hiccup and ride your own dragon. Working in the cafe not only means making food, but hiring other characters you encounter to work for you and ensuring that they are not slacking off, as well as serving customers. Of course, you can opt to let the AI, your crew, handle all that stuff while you're off gallivanting with your dragon. Cooking isn't generic as choosing ingredients and just letting the food miraculously cook itself with no effort from you, the player. There is actually a minigame involved in it as well, and depending on how well you do with the minigame, as well as what ingredients you use, you can make a high-class dish or a mediocre one. The story within the game is not heavy, nor is it convoluted. Even little kids, whom this game is truly aimed towards, could understand the plot and the flow of the story without much explanation. Conversations between characters are also charmingly written, and there are moments when words of wisdom are dropped at the most unlikely of moments, and even by the most unlikely of characters. With your character just being a kid, there is, obviously, no romance or marriage in this game, though the game does focus on relationship between characters. It is as laid back a game as they could come, with no time limits or quest expirations whatsoever, and is all about working in your own restaurant, building relationships, making money, and raising your pet dragon. Helmed by Yasuhiro Wada, the renowned creator of Harvest Moon, Rune Factory, and Little King Story, and published by Axis Games and Rising Star Games, Little Dragon's Cafe is available for the PlayStation 4, the PC, and the Nintendo Switch. Now, there is one last game I would like to mention that falls under this list. What is different about it from the others on this list is that this one, as of this recording, has yet to be made available on the Western shores, though it is now up for pre-order and preload. Having said that, I have played all the other games under this franchise though, and I suppose you can say that I do have a firm grasp on its gameplay and know from experience that games under this title are gratifying to play and well worth the money. The game I'm talking about is Story of Seasons Friends of Mineral Town, the remake of the timeless classic Harvest Moon from Marvelous Inc. and Xseed Games. Initially released in Japan on October 17, 2019, this title is going to be out for the West on July 14, 2020. When it comes to games that take you into a simpler life and allows you to experience the joys of simpler times and of a simulated life, letting you fall into a pleasant, endless routine that blocks out the rest of the world, then the original Harvest Moon franchise, which is not to be confused with the current Natsumi Helm titles, which just took on the Harvest Moon name and not that which makes those games memorable, charming, and enjoyable, is the one that started it all. And this remake, although having picked a strange choice for its graphics, is going to try to harken back to those days. Now, from what I have gathered, the game offers nothing new apart from the quality of life changes that make the virtual day-to-day better, like the added difficulty option and the ability to cycle through tools via the directional pad and right analog stick. There is also an added quality system for crops with a visible star rating, as well as the ability to walk over growing crops instead of them being impassable. Likewise, materials that you have chopped or hammered are now drawn automatically to you, and it seems herding animals using the bell is a lot easier this time around as well. There is also the added same-sex marriage that was previously not available in the other entries of the franchise. There is also a healthy amount of new content that is seamlessly integrated into the game, from choosing who you want to be and how you want to look like at the start of the game, to new livestock, additional pet options, new crops, new love interests, and new heart events. There is plenty to do in this game. Having said that, with all the listed features, it still feels comparably dated to all the other titles that were inspired by the classic Harvest Moon game. It could even be said that compared to the update Stardew Valley provided, Stardew Valley provides more range, customization options, and keeps the player less frustrated, especially with how the in-game time passes by so quickly in this remake and how quickly you run out of stamina. It might take a few in-game days or weeks to get adjusted to the flow of this game. Still, Story of Season games have yet to disappoint, and I'm one of the people really looking forward to this game's release come July 14th on the Nintendo Switch and Steam. Now, those are just 5 games from my own library that I would highly recommend players who enjoyed and are still enjoying Animal Crossing to try out. There are other games that could fall into this list, like Doraemon's Story of Seasons, but I haven't played that game enough. I only actually got past the initial cutscene before I lost interest, as I am not really a fan of Doraemon, to be able to honestly say that it's a game I would recommend. Forager could also be part of this list, but considering it falls more under a sandbox survival game or survival genre rather than the casual sim life that all games in this list fall under, I decided not to include it, despite having the same crafting and foraging features as most of the titles mentioned in this video. But anyways, those are just my recommendations. What about you guys? What games would you recommend for players who are enjoying Animal Crossing or others who are playing the games on this list? Share it on the comment section below for the whole world to see, and I'll see you all in the next video. Until then, you guys know the drill. Work hard, pray harder, dream on, fly on. Bye bye now. Keep safe everyone. Stay strong, dreamers. Alright, first off, thank you so much for joining me in today's video. If you like the content of today's video, don't forget to hit that thumbs up to let me know, and share this video to your friends, your family, and everyone you think would enjoy it. And if you haven't, please click the subscribe button to subscribe to my channel and become part of the Dreamer Tribe. And if you've already subscribed and you want to get notified whenever new videos come out, then just click on that bell icon and you'll get notifications whenever new videos are posted here on this channel. And that's about it. Again, hit the subscribe button and the bell icon, and I'll see you all in the next video. Until then, you guys know the drill. Dream on, fly on. Bye bye now.